had a little bit of a delayed version of Between as Mark Springer was on our network call hosting the Avs' embarrassing defeat up in Edmonton against the Oilers. 9-1 is the final. This or tied for the most goals that they've scored since relocating to Colorado in 95-96. They scored 9 back in 2004 against the Vancouver Canucks. 4 different multi-goal scorers in this game. Cale Makar, Jack Drury, Parker Kelly, and Nathan McKinnon all having 2-goal games this evening. It was early and often, and in a game in which Gabe Landeskog scores yet another goal that gets called back on an offside review, and the Avs go 0 for 7 on the power play, including a double minor and a 5-on-3. They score 9 goals on the road against the Edmonton Oilers.
The two-time defending, reigning Western Conference champions lost at home 9-1. You remember that game when the Avs only had 48 points and they lost 10-1 in Montreal? That was a god-awful Avs team. Now, there was some talent on that team, but they had 48 points that season. This is the two-time reigning defending Western Conference champs, and if the Avs don't go 0 for 7 on the power play, that's 12-1. So, dude, if I'm Connor McDavid tonight, I'm thinking to myself, why did I sign that contract?
Yeah, what have I done? What have I put myself in front of? There's no defending. The very big issue of no goaltending in Edmonton still has not been resolved, and that was very clear tonight when Stuart Skinner gets pulled from the game, and your backup is Calvin Pickard, and he's no better. That team cannot win a cup as currently constituted, and they are back-to-back Western Conference champions. They cannot win a cup as currently constituted. They need an upgrade on defense with an aging defensive core, and they need an upgraded goaltending, and they did not go after those this offseason.
Yeah, I wonder, you look at teams that like maybe could have signed him, and I just pulled up Montreal. They have $6.5 million in cap space. Maybe there's a way they could have parted with someone like a Brendan Gallagher at 6.5 or a Josh Anderson at 5.5. Maybe even would have taken a little more. Mikey Matheson just under 5 defensively, whatever. Like Montreal's leading the Atlantic Division. That would have been a good little fit, and they got young talent. They actually have some decent goaltending, and I get it. They got Draisaitl. They got Draisaitl. But, dude, it's 2 straight seasons going to a Stanley Cup final. Was it really going to be 3? And, yeah, Connor McDavid did his team a solid. And I get it. We talked about it. We talked about this, what the best decision for him would be. And maybe all signs did point to Edmonton. But on the flip side, I mean, and you know what's funny about this Avs performance tonight is we were expecting potentially, perhaps, based on reports, that Logan O'Connor and Sam Girard would play tonight. But they didn't. And so you did this without those two very, very solid players. I think part of the reason that Colorado said, hey, we don't need you to come back quite yet is because coming into tonight, we're 8-1-5. We're leading the West. Even if we lose tonight, we're like, why rush them back? And even without them, they won 9-1. And dude, you were all over Gavin Brindley, dude. I mean, I
tried to tell you guys.
Yeah, I'll give you. That's all you, man. And I didn't love letting go of Charlie Coyle, and I didn't really care about Miles Wood. I think it's a shame what happened to Miles Wood. Seems like he's played all right with the Blue Jackets before he had those back issues with Colorado. He's a pretty good player. Like that bottom 6 type player, you really with that good contract. But man, Gavin Brindley, like that's, I mean, when O'Connor comes back, I guess it's Bardakov out who had a couple assists tonight. And then I'm a Yoel Kiviranta fan, and it seems like he's going to be out for a while. But Gavin Brindley, that's a bottom six dude right there.
Yeah, you can't keep that player out of the lineup. I think they absolutely fleeced Columbus in those trades to not only be able to offshore the Coyle and the Wood contracts. And I do agree with you. I thought there were spots of Miles Wood's game that I really enjoyed when he came over from New Jersey. But honestly, the same thing happened in Jersey as it did in Colorado. Is you had these sparks, you had these stretches where you go, oh my god, like he plays with reckless abandon and he's a good fast skater and he just wants to hit everything in his path. But if there's any peak of an injury, he completely goes off the face of the planet. And that's what happened in his final 2 years in New Jersey and allowed him to move over to Colorado. And same thing happened as a member of the Avs. You saw some sparks and you went, oh, like this guy is what you want in your bottom six. And then he got injured and he came back and he was making mistakes and he got injured again. And for you to be able to flip those two players and get a guy like Gavin Brindley, who's essentially a first round prospect. I know he's a second round draft pick out of Michigan. He's undersized, man, but he plays a wonderful two-way game. He goes to shitty areas. He doesn't have a problem being net front. You saw his silky hands on that little backhand one touch in front of Skinner tonight that essentially put the game out of reach. He's everything I want in a player. This game had nothing that I disliked. I thought half the power plays were the same kind of like duck fart, nothing happened, but I thought 3 power plays were really good tonight. Like they were zipping pucks around and Nate was firing and they just didn't find the back of the net. And honestly, like who gives a shit when you score 9 when you're not on the power play?
I mean, I've always said I believe games are won 5-on-5 at the end of the day, and it certainly was tonight. Sam Malinsky with that. I mean, he gets another assist on that shot, rebound off of Skinner. Brindley cleans it up. Makar opens the scoring with 2 goals. Dude, can I talk about how I'm sorry. Like, I will just give my honest opinion. And I say this as an objective human being. How fucking hot does Cale Makar look in that photo for Team Canada? He looks
Dude,
like he's out of the fucking Twilight movies.
Dude, they messed with his hair. They gave his hair like an extra bit of like zhuzh and some color. They
Oh
messed
my
with it, man.
God.
Team Canada was trying to give him a little bit of a glow up.
Oh, I need to cool myself off here.
Those Team Canada jerseys, though, man, I don't know.
What, you don't like them?
I don't like the details. The striping. There's 2 different colored stripes.
Oh, you're such a uniform snob.
And the stripes don't go all the way around the jersey. They stop like 3/4 of the way through.
Okay, 3/4. That's a little
weird.
Weird.
So I will withhold my judgment until I see them on the ice, because there's a lot of times that I think a jersey looks like crap and then it gets on the ice and I go, oh, it works. So I will withhold my judgment completely there. But there's a couple of details that I'm not a huge fan of.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, look, Cale, it's just those are just classic Cale goals. He's got a wicked wrist shot. It's dangerous. It's crazy that it hasn't shown up on the power play, but it showed up 5-on-5 tonight. Dude, he's gonna run away with the Norris. He's just gonna run away with this thing. He's gonna. I guess I'll try to pull up the who's won the most Norris trophies. I know we've looked at this list before. But dude, he's gonna get his third.
It's either or Lidstrom is my guess. Maybe Bork has like 5.
Let's see here. Bobby Orr has 8, and Cale's on pace for 3. I don't see anyone else in the league. It's not even. And Cale, you want to know what's funny? Is 20 points on the season now for Cale. He's leading everybody and he took over Matthew Schaefer. The first overall pick from the Islanders.
Have you watched him play hockey?
He's
Have you
damn
watched any
good.
Islanders? Dude, I haven't watched a full Islanders game this year, but I went back and like went on to islanders.nhl.com and they had a highlight package of Schaefer. That dude is the truth.
He's 18 years old. And the fact that he's doing what he's doing, like, and it's funny, like the company, like Lane Hudson is having as expected. He's great. He's young. There's this plethora of good young defensemen in the league, and they're offensively skilled, but Cale is just the class. And yeah, he's going to get his third. Let's see here. Doug Harvey and Nicholas Lidstrom each have 7. Ray Bork has 5. Chris Chelios, Paul Coffey, Eric Carlson have won 3. So Cale's going to join Chris Chelios, Paul Coffey, and Eric Carlson, unless something, the only way it doesn't happen. And I mean, we got this nice wood table here in, this new podcast room. And
I was going to say, where are you right now? Those of you who are still with us very late at night, my in-laws are in town and I have not had my studio at my home available to me. So I am currently in my daughter's nursery as I
Is
show
she in
you
there
around.
with you?
No. She's still sleeping in the bassinet in the room with my wife and I.
Okay.
So I am now in here with polka dot curtains and stuffed animals and a crib. But you have this beautiful brick background and a television now. What is that?
Yeah, this is our new podcast studios. You haven't been here, so fucking DMAC.
Squeaky wheel gets the cheese, eh?
This has been the talk around. This is behind the scenes. Welcome to Behind the Scenes, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Hey, it's cool. Like, it looks good. The only thing is that, like, the only people who are going to use this room for podcasting is DMAC and, like, me or you whenever we're here doing network post game.
Right.
And that's, like, it. But DMAC got his new room, so hell yeah.
I'm very proud of him. I'll be back to the morning sprint on Thursday. This coming Thursday will be my return to air after being gone for 6 weeks on paternity leave. As we continue to get off topic here. Back to Cale Makar. And his ability to run away with the Norris this year. His 20 points right now lead all defensemen by a margin of 8. You have to get to Miro Heiskanen and Morgan Riley, as well as Josh Morrissey, who have 12 points apiece, tied for 69th in the league. Cale is in the top 10. In the top 10 is Cale Makar.
You know what's funny too, dude, is I don't think he's even played his best hockey yet. Like, these 2 first period goals were very nice, but I almost expect Cale to kind of like take games over. And he hasn't even taken a game over yet this season.
I think you can make the argument tonight he did. Those 2 quick goals, I think it changed the game, because right before that, man, like, we look at this game as a 9-1 ass kicking, and you should. It was an embarrassment for Edmonton this evening. But right before Cale scores these 2 carbon copy goals, they were literally the same play. The same thing. It just happened. One of them happened during the middle of an extended period of play, and the other one came off of a face-off. But it was the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Prior to that, man, like, I think a minute and a half earlier, that crazy first line shift from, rather, it was 2.5 minutes earlier, from McDavid and Draisaitl's line, and then McDavid draws the penalty. Edmonton was feeling it to start the game, and then Cale goes bang, bang, and the game gets flipped on its head. I could make the argument tonight was the first one that he stole.
Yeah, no, you could. I'm talking more like start to finish, but tonight wasn't necessary. It was just, hey, can you take control of this game early? And Cale Makar took control of this game early, and then that was all they needed. And speaking of scoring from like the same spot, I swear Landeskog scored from the same spot that he did against the Mammoth and that he did against the Stars in the playoffs. But unlike the Stars goal in the playoffs, it was just like the Mammoth goal where this poor guy. Now, I will say this. his first regular season goal, it's going to be important. And tonight's goal, had it stood, wouldn't have been important. Now, the Mammoth goal would have been.
That you win the Mammoth game if
Yeah,
he scores that.
you do. But my gosh. And he's been playing the past couple games. It's getting better. You can see, there was, it was up, it's down, then it's up again. And that's going to happen when you're in the grind of now you're playing, 15 or so games, night in, night out, getting on airplanes. It's the grind of a regular season. But he's playing better. It's going to come. Unbelievable, though, that man, and he's a great man, has been snake bitten in this way.
Yeah, I feel terrible for him. You saw him laughing on the bench too when it happened. Like as soon as they didn't drop the puck, he knew that Knobloch was going to be, essentially throwing the red challenge flag. If we were Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos here, it's amazing the the Avs nearly scored as much as the Broncos did on Thursday night. Actually, they did. If you throw in the Landeskog goal, the Avs had as many points tonight in a hockey game as the Broncos had on Thursday night against the lowly Las Vegas Raiders. Think about that for a second.
Yeah. Hey, both were wins. Both were wins.
Well, you know what? It's funny because I've been texting with a lot of people, and obviously there's the contingency of Avs faithful that are still very upset with the turnovers, and the turnover numbers are high. But as we spoke about on our last show, when you have the puck more than any other team in the National Hockey League, and the Avs statistically have the puck more than any team in the league right now, you're going to have more giveaways. But I do agree that I think they're a little fast and loose with the puck right now, and I'd like them to tighten it up. Also, the other bugaboo is the power play continues to kind of, suck, or at least not score. I think they suck less, but they're still not scoring. At some point you have to go, they're the best fucking team in the league. Like, let's just be happy about it at one point. I had people texting me tonight about being 0 for 6 on the power play, and I was like, they're up 7-1 in Edmonton right now. Why are we complaining?
I do think the power play will come. I will admit it was tough for me to stay laser focused on every moment of this game tonight because I'm here in the studios and I got Berto and I got the Nuggets game and all that jazz. But one moment on one of their power plays stood out to me. McKinnon left wing, Natchez low left, Makar at the point. And McKinnon, I can tell he's deciding what to do. Do I go down low to Natchez? Do I go up to Cale? And ordinarily, they're really, in the past, Nate really wouldn't have that low option that Natchez was occupying. I've talked about Nate being on that island, and Nate hesitates. He goes up to the point to Cale. Weird pass. I don't know if Cale fumbles it or it's just kind of an in-between pass from Nate, but it leaks out of the zone. And it was just like, okay, there's more options now. And Nate, if you got Nate on this show, if you were to ask Nate about it, he would be like, dude, it was nothing. But I will tell you, I would tell Nate, there are more options in your head than you're used to having. I think they'll get used to it though. Like I'm starting to come around and I think that they will get used to this new setup. It's just going to take some time. It's more spread out. There's more wide options for them to pass to. Whatever. I think it gets figured out. These players are too smart. The hockey IQ is too high. It will get going. And 0 for 7 on the power play. That's fine. Let's talk about Parker Kelly's 2 goals, especially the shorthanded goal, dude. Put Parker, I said this when he scored that Devils goal the other night, a breakaway goal. If the Avs are going to go to a shootout in the future, Parker Kelly, you're in. You're in, buddy.
You get to go.
He's got some mitts.
You get to go. You get the call over Cale, over Nate, because everyone's been crappy. You get to do this. It's your turn. I know they threw Brindley in there at one point, and They threw Olafson in there at one point because they thought that their history had told you should play them in the shootout. Parker Kelly has shown you during the game that on a breakaway he can bury. So yeah, if they go to a shootout, I want 17 going first. Completely agree with you. Why not?
Yeah, yeah, and man, that fourth line, and when you get O'Connor back, it's just going to be absolutely insane. And Bartikov's played well. So the depth is there. If you need a Bartikov who had 2 assists tonight in just over 6.5 minutes, like the depth is there. Jack Drury. I mean, the other 2-goal scorer, and there's obviously a fourth, but 2-goal scorer who's Nathan MacKinnon. But Jack Drury, I mean, he's everywhere. He's everywhere, and it's Parker Kelly behind the net. Was it Parker Kelly behind the net? Yes, it was.
Parker Kelly behind the net, the one where you get the fortunate bounce off the Edmonton shin pad, but Drury has to corral a puck that's bouncing, hold on to it as Skinner's trying to push out to him, and still score on his backhand at a sharp angle. Like, you have to have some touch to do that. It was a good goal. It was a fortunate bounce, but a very, very good goal. I thought his tip from the Brent Burns slap pass was a thing of beauty.
Beautiful, beautiful tip. Great shot by Burns. That's on purpose, I think, to feed Drury
100%.
in that slot. That's a veteran. Brent Burns, only a player like that, a Cale, a Taves, someone like that with experience, it knows what to do in that moment. But you got to finish it, and that's a tough puck to finish, and Drury does. And it's Malinsky does his thing tonight with he's setting up Brindley net front and Drury with 2 goals. It's those 2 players that you wanted the development from, and they got just that. And it's not just the 2 goals. Jack Drury just absolutely everywhere. 50% at the face-off circle tonight. It was a complete team performance. And then Nathan MacKinnon for good measure scores 2 nasty goals in the third period. And I mean, Connor McDavid's great. I don't know, man. The team advantage is certainly, it's 9-1. It's certainly with the Avs, but I don't know, dude. I mean, Nate might win a heart. He might win a heart.
They both do things that are so very unique to them. Like, I think Nate's ability to score in stride is greater than McDavid's, and you saw that tonight on his 2 goals. We think Cale's goals were carbon copy. Nate's goals were carbon copy tonight. You just walk in and you rip a shot in stride, you score. That's all you have to do. McDavid isn't that type of player. McDavid, when he excels, is what he did in the first period when he's weaving in and out of traffic and holding on to pucks. And Scott Wedgwood makes a crazy great left pad save on him early in this game. He's drawing penalties in those situations. The power play goal he scores, he comes down on his strong side and kind of changes the angle a little bit, goes short side. I wouldn't call that in stride. He's got space there and he's able to kind of head fake Wedgwood out of there. He excels at that more than Nate does. And Nate excels at making plays at full, like, locomotive speed and shooting in stride more than McKinnon or more than McDavid does. They're the 2 best players on planet Earth, and it's a delight to watch them, and it's going to be terrifying for any team that has to play them in Italy.
I mean, McKinnon's got 12 goals. McDavid has 5. McKinnon has 24 points.
12 or league 12.
I mean, fucking might win a Rocket Richard. I mean, that's
at this pace. Oh yeah, at this pace he might.
and
I think I've been on record on this show saying I don't think Nate would ever win a Rocket.
Yeah, it was, I when we did our season preview show, I didn't quite go there, but I did say that it's going to be a 2-man race for the Hart, and that I thought that Nate would just be right there, if not win the thing. And look, the Oilers are 6-6-4. And the Avs are 9-1-5. They're the best team in the NHL. They go into McDavid's team's building and win 9-1. And if this it's over. Like, it's it's kind of it's almost Makar and the Norrisy. It's not over. It's
Well, I mean,
I know I just said it's over. It could be over. It's November 8th, but if this pace continues, it's over.
I I think that McDavid is the only player. Well, I shouldn't say the only player. I watch out for Nikita Kucherov at any given point. He's got 140 points in a season in his career. He can put him up with the best. Um, a lot was said going into tonight about the youth, right? About the Macklin Celebrinis and the Connor Bedards who were leading the league in points before Cale jumps up and ties Celebrini at 24. I don't think Celebrini and Carlson and Bedard, Carlson in Anaheim, and by the way, if you have seen the Anaheim highlights tonight, Leo Carlson is the truth. I don't think either one of those players, any three of those players, those young guys can keep up with McKinnon.
No,
I
they
do
can't.
think I do think McDavid can in
He
terms of
can,
point production.
but if the Oilers continue to float around 500 and the Avs just, they're the best team in the NHL with 23
Yeah, winning
points.
matters.
And if the Avs are just a significantly better team than Edmonton, and even if the points are similar, because McDavid's racking up assists, but McKinnon's got a 7-goal lead. 7 goals are the most important. Now, McKinnon's always been an assist guy, and those are going to continue to come. He's playing with Marty Necas.
Yeah, all you have to know
Lekkonen's
about...
going to get going. It's funny. Arturi Lekkonen has been a little... He's had moments.
He's snake bitten, much like some other players are. He's snake bitten.
Sure.
Goals matter. You're right. There's a reason why there is a trophy for the most goals scored, and there's not a trophy for the most assists.
It's just as it stands right now, like unless something changes, and it would almost have to be, and I don't want to say this word, but it's just the reality of the situation. Barring injury, unless something, I don't know what it could be other than that. The team's too stacked. There's too many options for McKinnon to pick up assists and to get fed for goals. And same with Makar for the Norris. Then we are looking at, and this is just a realistic view of it. This is not biased. This is completely objective. Sans injury, the Avs are going to sweep the Hart and the Norris.
They would sweep Hart, Norris, Richard, Ross. And at this point, is Scott Wedgwood, like if the season ended today, is Scott Wedgwood a Vezina finalist? If the season
his
ended
win-loss record is insane, and only 1 goal allowed tonight. He's 9-1, 9-1-2.
He has the most wins in the league. He has a 2.37 goals against average, which is just shy of Connor Hellebuck at 2.30. Jakob Dobush in Montreal is 2.25. He's had a stellar start to his season. Save percentages right now, and I'm just going to give you like qualifying goalies, guys who play enough to actually have this happen. Spencer Knight is a 9.26 in Chicago. Hellebuck is a 9.22. Dobush 9.20, and Wedgwood back at 9.06 is tied for 20th in the league. He
the
would
906.
be in the conversation.
The 906 is good. It's very good. Don't get me wrong. But it's not like those 930s that you see the Vezinas win. Right. And we'll see what I expect Blackwood to start tomorrow night. It's obviously a very real thing that Mackenzie Blackwood is not up to his speed quite yet, or he would have started tonight. But that's a testament and a credit to Scott Wedgwood, how well he's played and the faith that they have in him. And then the just fact that they can go to him, that they even have him available. But we'll see what Mackenzie does tomorrow night against I say a weaker Vancouver team, but Edmonton didn't look that good tonight. Mackenzie will get this job soon enough, but man, it's been a great first month of the season for Scott Wedgwood.
It really has. 15 games into the season, man. This team has 23 of a possible 30 points. They have the best defenseman in the world. They have the best skater in the world, and they have the best backup goaltender in the world. So if I can give him a crown there, Scott Wedgwood, you've won that crown so far. And I hope that Mackenzie Blackwood bounces back from injury and looks good tomorrow night against Vancouver. That is the easier of the two games, and you were able to spread out a whole bunch of ice time tonight in a game where you probably, like, if you're Jared Bednar, you weren't anticipating that. You weren't anticipating being able to play your third and fourth line a whole bunch of minutes and being able to play a Sean a bunch in the third period as well. It makes the back to back less daunting. Now you can go up into Vancouver and go, if we don't walk away with 4 out of 4 points, we're upset.
Yeah, they're up 8-1 and they get a double minor on a high stick, and they start that power play with power play 2 because they're up 8-1. So they got, they spelled their guys a little bit in that third period, and that's important. Like, that helps.
It's sitting Jokic in the fourth quarter last night.
Yeah.
What right? He has 24, 9, and 9. They sit him in the fourth quarter because they're going to win that game against Golden State. And what does he do? He turns around on a back-to-back. And I know they're playing Indiana and they're injured and they suck as a result. But what does he do? He throws down 34, 16, or 14 and 14 tonight.
Yeah, and so, the Nuggets home and home back-to-back, like both at home. I noticed, hey, shout out to the San Jose Sharks. They did that last night and tonight. Winnipeg, Florida. They were at home, though, San Jose. That's still impressive for that team. Really, you look at that loss that the Avs had in San Jose last weekend, they're over 500. Celebrini's good. Like, that's a quality. They're not amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, is that like, if we're crossing over sports constantly in the show, is that like a quadrant 2 loss?
Something like that. Yes. Like,
If
it's
you're
not
the
as like, this is
college
not
playoff.
the dregs of the league Sharks anymore now that they have Celebrini and he's got a year under his belt. The Boston regulation loss. Boston's over 500. Like,
They
went
again
in
tonight.
Toronto and won. They were home dogs against the Senators and won. They're surprising people. But with the back-to-backs, I've noticed NBA, NHL, it's early in both these seasons. The only teams, at least from what I've seen, that have been able to do this were home teams. The Avs are the road team in this back-to-back. They could be the first team that I've seen. I could be missing somebody because I haven't tracked this intensely and intently. But I haven't noticed any road teams really being able to go win these the second leg of a back-to-back. I've seen some overtime losses on the second leg. Because Colorado was able to spell dudes in the second period, or the third period, and it's the second as well. I beat them fucking 9-1, and that it's Vancouver who got a win against Columbus tonight, but they're 8-8. They're very mid team. That's a mid record. The Avs are set up to be a road team that can go win the second leg of a back-to-back tomorrow.
That was a heavy game that they played tonight against Columbus as well. Not Jack Hughes. Quinn Hughes played over 27 minutes in tonight's game in their 4-3 victory at home against Columbus. They had Pettersson playing 21 and a half. Philip Hronek played 24 minutes this evening. On the forward side, Connor Garland played north of 20. Evander Kane and Elias Pettersson played north of 20 tonight. The Avs are going to be the more rested team, and they threw, while Thatcher Demko is still injured right now, they threw Kevin Lankinen, who is like their de facto starter. You're going to see Vancouver's third string goalie tomorrow, and you get to throw your one.
Yeah, it's set up. And if there's a team that, based on how tonight's games went for both Vancouver and Colorado, and just how the overall seasons have gone, if there's a team that can go get 4 points as a road team on 2 games and 2 nights, in Colorado, I mean, we saw last weekend in Vegas.
They are heavy road favorites right now.
I mean, it's set up, and then I'm not. Yeah, there's an expectation. Yeah, I'm not surprised. There's an expectation. You saw it last weekend. You saw it the past 2 weekends. They lose in Boston, but then in New Jersey, lose in overtime. Win in Vegas, go to San Jose, lose in overtime. It's tough on that second day, no matter who you're playing, no matter how good you are. But this is the first one of this NHL season where it's really set up for the road team to actually go get it done.
Tomorrow's games, the heaviest favorite on the money line, Dallas at home against Seattle, minus 225. The second heaviest favorite, Colorado on the road on a back-to-back at minus 170. They are heavy favorites.
Yeah, and it really, because they're the road team and Dallas is the home team in their matchup, you can argue that Colorado's the heaviest favorite tomorrow, and that's saying something. They're and it's funny. Speaking of Dallas, they are now the second best team in the Central, and it is funny how these things even out. I do kind of think the Ducks are somewhat for real, but they're in the Pacific. As far as the Central goes,
I think you hit that on your. That was you at the beginning of the season, right?
Anaheim, Anaheim was my sleeper 8 seed, and now they're exceeding it.
Dude, I think I think they look like a lock to make the playoffs. I know, again, it's very early. I love their core.
Well, with Quenneville as their coach too, is another, like, that steadies them, to have a veteran coach. And then you mentioned Carlson, and we talked about him, and it's not just him. There's other players as well, but that's the Pacific. Here in the Central, Dallas got off to a little bit of a sleepy start. Colorado had some overtime losses, shootout losses, but as the sample size starts to grow, the more you play, what do you know? It's Colorado and Dallas leading the Central as we sit here a month into the season. That's how it goes. But Colorado's got the 4-point lead on them, and Dallas is just a tick injured, just a tick. I like that. I like Dallas chasing Colorado. Little inverse of last year. There's no doubt. Dallas got that 7-game first-round series win, but now that time has passed and things, again, the sample size, as it evens out more, Colorado's the best team in the league, and you cannot tell me otherwise. That's no homerism. That's just how it looks right now.
And it could change, but spring, you're right. They look every bit the part of a champion or a championship contending team. Couple of answers before we get out of here. It's super late on a
Yeah,
Saturday,
we're gonna get out of here real
Sunday
quick.
morning,
Raj, his eyes is fucking dead. I'm getting dead.
The baby didn't sleep last night. She wasn't napping today. I'm running on nothing, and we got a late game tomorrow to go over. What's the plan for LOC when he makes his return? We talked about it a little bit earlier. I think he probably takes Bardakov's spot and then moves over to the wing, and then you throw Parker Kelly, Logan O'Connor, and Gavin Brindley together as your fourth line. Maybe you pop him up on your third and you drop, Jack Drury down, but I'm not messing with Landeskog, Drury, and Olofsson. That's probably what it is. Bardakov comes out, Kelly moves to the center, O'Connor takes the wing alongside Brindley on your fourth, and you look great.
That's exactly what it'll be. Olofsson has been too good. Landeskog starting to play better. O'Connor's a wing. And O'Connor can play third line, but it's just a dirty fourth line. That's what that is.
Yeah, it sure is. You talked about depth earlier on in the program. All right, 9-1 is the victory for the Avs, the most goals they've scored since the Steve Moore, Todd Bertuzzi incident back in 2004. The most goals they've scored since relocating to Denver in 95-96. They embarrassed the Oilers on the road tomorrow night, 8 p.m. in Vancouver against the Canucks. Spring and I will be live here on YouTube, on Twitter as well, around 10:45.
We'll be on right out. I don't have any duties. No one has any duties. We'll be on right after the game tomorrow night.
We can do that. But for spring, Raj, this is Between the Pipes. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. No Broncos tomorrow. It's nice. So you just get to watch Red Zone and not have to tear your hair out about Sean Payton's play calling.